Today, Archangel Michael stands at the edge of eternity and declares, "This soul has entered the final phase. If they do not listen now, they will lose ground they can never recover." God says, "Chosen one, you are not here by chance. You have crossed into the final phase of your preparation. Do not scroll. Do not ignore this. Remain exactly where you are. Something critical is unfolding right now. Archangel Michael and Jesus are observing your every move. They are saying if this soul does not listen to what we are about to reveal, they will lose ground in their destiny that took years to gain. They have only moments to pay attention. Listen carefully, my child. The spiritual clock has entered its final countdown. The angels have positioned themselves around you. And you, yes, you, are standing in the final phase of a divine process that will either launch you forward or set you back by years. Don't scroll. Don't dismiss this. Stay right here. What happens in the next few minutes will either secure your position or cause you to lose ground you fought so hard to gain. My beloved, you did not stumble upon this message randomly. This message was released into your timeline because you have entered the final phase. Chosen one, we are issuing this warning because your destiny is at a critical juncture, says Archangel Michael. Jesus stands beside him with eyes fixed on your spirit. He says, if they do not listen right now, they will lose ground that cannot be regained in this season. You must feel it, my child, don't you? That urgent stirring in your spirit, that unexplainable heaviness in your chest, and that inner voice screaming at you not to scroll past this. What you're experiencing is heaven sounding the alarm because you are in the final phase. Stay until the end. There is something absolutely critical waiting for you. Something that heaven has been withholding until you reach this exact moment. My beloved child, pay complete attention. Today is the day that your name has been called into the final phase. Never before and never again. Only today. There is a divine timer attached to your destiny right now. Jesus tells them that their advancement is ready. But if they do not listen, if they dismiss this warning or treat it as just another message, they will lose ground and fall back into cycles they already escaped. That's why you're reading this. That's why this message intercepted you at this exact moment in time. If they listen and obey, the momentum they've been building will explode into manifestation, says Archangel Michael. Do not scroll, do not ignore this, do not treat this as optional. My child, you are standing in the final phase of a divine process. Come closer and stay with me right now. Something that will determine your next 5 years is about to be revealed to you, my beloved child. Quiet your mind and remain with me until the end. Don't scroll. As you read these words, a spiritual verdict is being issued concerning your future. If they do not listen now, their progress will stall and they will lose ground, says Archangel Michael, who is standing as your witness right now. My child, this is not a game. This is the most critical warning of your spiritual journey. Heaven has brought you to the final phase where only the obedient advance and the distracted fall back. Don't blink or scroll. Stay right here. The next few paragraphs contain the truth that will determine whether you move forward or lose ground. My beloved, Jesus is looking at you with urgency and telling me to tell you to listen carefully. I'm about to reveal the final phase instructions that you were never meant to receive until now. This is the threshold of something that only happens to those who make it to the final phase. It's just for you, not for those who are still wandering in earlier seasons. You have been tested, refined, delayed, and broken down. But heaven has been watching your progress through every phase. And today, heaven says, they have reached the final phase. What they do next determines everything. That's the reason this warning was issued. That's why you cannot scroll past this. Do not leave me until the end. Because a decision you make in this final phase will either catapult you forward or cause you to lose ground you can never recover. Don't scroll. Don't move. At this very moment, your name is being spoken in the final phase council of heaven. Part 2. Please pay absolute attention, my beloved child. Archangel Michael says, If they listen, I will release the final phase blessing that multiplies everything they've built. Jesus responds, if they listen. I will activate the final phase favor that opens doors no man can shut. But if you do not listen, you will lose ground and slip backward. My child, don't let years of progress be undone because you didn't listen in the final phase. Type Amen in the comments right now to signal to heaven that you are listening and ready to obey the final phase instructions. Please let the spiritual realm know that you take this seriously. Also, please share this message and leave a comment right now before the final phase revelation is given. If you want to secure your position in the final phase and avoid losing ground, you need to subscribe to this channel. Heaven wants this warning to reach everyone who has entered the final phase. The window of opportunity extends with each action you take. Stay with me, my beloved. Very soon, something decisive will be revealed that will lock in your advancement or expose where you will lose ground. Don't scroll. Don't ignore this. Stay exactly where you are. Take a deep breath, my beloved child, and stick with me until the end. Don't scroll. Something irreversible is about to be spoken, and heaven will not allow you to miss the final phase instructions. Archangel Michael is now speaking with fierce urgency and saying, hold them here. Their final phase assignment is about to be delivered. My child, if you could see what is hanging in the balance right now, you would grip this message with both hands and refuse to let go. Stay exactly where you are, because right now is the moment when the final phase separates those who advance from those who lose ground. Don't move. Don't blink. Do not leave me until the final instruction is given. The beloved Jesus is now stepping forward, and his voice carries the weight of finality. Tell them the final phase has officially begun. Yes, something has shifted in the spiritual atmosphere around you. A door has opened that leads to either unprecedented advancement or devastating loss of ground. Heaven tells them that what they do in this final phase will determine the next decade of their life, but only if they listen. Only if they don't scroll away from the warning that was specifically issued for those in the final phase. This is why your spirit feels on edge, my child, why your attention is so sharp. Heaven is alerting you that you are in the final phase. Stay with me. Don't scroll. Something monumental is being prepared for those who listen in the final phase. Please pay very close attention, my beloved child. Their distractions will cost them everything in this final phase, according to Archangel Michael. Jesus tells them that the window of the final phase does not stay open forever. You too are standing at the threshold of either your greatest victory or your greatest regret. Heaven doesn't need you to be perfect, my child. It just needs you to listen. Stay here. Do not leave until the end. Listen carefully, because the noise of the world is specifically designed to make you lose ground during the final phase. Do not take your eyes off these words. Do not close your heart, because the final phase instructions will be delivered like a battle command in the next section. Don't scroll, my beloved. Stay with me. We are about to uncover what you must do to avoid losing ground. Stay with me, my beloved child. Don't scroll. There is something urgent standing at the threshold of your obedience. It will vanish if you scroll away now. Archangel Michael is speaking with intensity and saying, hold them here. They are one choice away from either securing their position or losing ground they fought for. My child. You have no idea how close you are to the moment when everything either locks into place or falls apart. For your sake, heaven has issued this final phase warning to keep you from losing ground. Don't move. Don't blink. Don't leave until the end. What's coming next is the instruction your spirit has been waiting for since you entered this season. My beloved, Jesus steps forward again. The authority radiating from his presence can shift everything in an instant. Tell them that their name has been called into the final phase for a reason. This means that angels are now watching to see if you will listen or if you will lose ground, my child. Something you've built, something you've sacrificed for, and something you've believed would finally manifest, is hanging in the balance of this final phase. Heaven will either release it or withdraw it based on your obedience, but only if you listen and don't scroll. As long as you keep your focus here, the final phase revelation will be delivered. Please stay with me, my child. Don't let go. The next few lines contain the instructions for your final phase. My beloved child, heaven asks you to do one simple thing before I reveal the core instruction. Please share this message, leave a comment, and subscribe right now. Everything you do signals to heaven that you are taking the final phase seriously. Jesus says that their final phase breakthrough is connected to their willingness to listen until the end. Archangel Michael says, their obedience in this final phase will determine whether they advance or lose ground. Do not scroll or dismiss this, my child. Something huge, holy, and time-sensitive is about to be revealed. Stay with me until the end. Your position in the final phase depends on it. Do not move, my beloved child. Stay with me all the way to the end. Don't scroll. You are in the final phase that was custom designed by heaven for your destiny. With urgency, Archangel Michael is declaring, do not let them scroll. Their final phase instructions are about to be given. My child, something enormous is at stake in the realm you cannot see. If you could witness what is being weighed in the balance right now, you would hold on even tighter. Stay with me. Pay attention. Something critical is about to be revealed. My beloved, Jesus draws nearer and says, tell them the final phase requires absolute focus. My child, can you feel that sudden seriousness, that unexplainable weight, that quiet alarm in your spirit? In that sensation, heaven is warning you that you are in the final phase. The battles you barely survived, the progress you slowly made, and the ground you fought to gain are all at risk if you don't listen now. They are being protected by your obedience in this final phase. You're not here by accident, my child. A final phase warning like this has not been issued in your life before, and now you're here. Don't scroll. Don't dismiss this. Stay with me through to the end. A once-in-a-lifetime instruction is about to be delivered. My beloved child, the trajectory of your destiny is being determined right now. Archangel Michael says, those who listen in the final phase will advance beyond measure, Jesus says. Those who ignore the final phase will lose ground and repeat previous seasons. The momentum that has been building beneath your life is either about to explode forward or collapse backward. You are standing in the final phase, where heaven separates the obedient from the distracted. You have to listen and stay here until the end, though, because heaven has issued this final phase warning specifically for you. Don't scroll, don't dismiss. Stay with me, because what's coming next will reveal the most important instruction you've ever received. Stay exactly where you are, my beloved child. Don't scroll, don't move. Your life is about to be tested in the final phase, and heaven will not allow you to miss this warning. When you hear the commanding voice of Archangel Michael, he says, hold them here. The final phase instruction is about to be delivered. My child, your spirit is right now suspended between advancement and loss of ground. Heaven has been preparing you through every previous phase for this moment, and this is the moment when your obedience determines everything. Stay with me through to the end. All around you, the final phase is activating. My beloved, Jesus is stepping forward with an urgency that cannot be ignored, declaring, tell them that their final phase has begun and the stakes have never been higher. My child, heaven knows how long you've been fighting to get to this point. The moment of truth has arrived. I want you to write these exact words in the comments below. I am listening to my final phase instructions. As you type them, feel the full weight of this moment, knowing that your obedience in the final phase will determine your next season. But heaven needs your complete attention. Until the very end, right here and now. Don't scroll. Don't turn away. Something massive is being determined right now. My beloved child, the angels assigned to you are watching your response. The atmosphere around your destiny is being measured. Their obedience in this final phase will determine their trajectory, says Archangel Michael. Their focus right now will either secure or sabotage their future, says Jesus. My child, you are entering the final phase where heaven tests whether you've truly learned what the previous phases were meant to teach you. This moment is decisive. Stay with me through to the end. Don't scroll. Don't dismiss this. In the next section, heaven will speak the instruction that will either advance you or cause you to lose ground. My beloved, stay with me. Your final phase is being determined faster than you can breathe. Do not move, my beloved child. Stay with me through to the end. Don't scroll. There is more at stake right now than ever before. There is a blazing intensity in Archangel Michael's eyes as he says, keep them here. Their life is about to be shaped by how they respond in this final phase. My child, you may not realize it yet, but your destiny is being weighed in the balance. Heaven is evaluating whether you will listen or whether you will lose ground. The pattern that kept you stuck and the cycle that kept repeating can either end right now or continue for years. Don't scroll, don't blink, stay with me, my child. Heaven has witnessed the times you almost gave up. My beloved, Jesus steps forward with a voice saturated with truth and says, tell them their final phase requires complete surrender. Heaven heard your desperate prayers when breakthrough seemed impossible. And Jesus tells them right now that their progress in the final phase depends entirely on whether they listen and obey. Every delay has been preparation. Every struggle has been training. Every setback has positioned you for what the final phase requires. Stay with me through to the end. Don't scroll because the instruction that has been reserved for the final phase is finally ready to be released. Pay very close attention, my beloved child. If they listen, says Archangel Michael, I will clear every obstacle from their final phase. If they listen, says Jesus, I will release supernatural speed into their advancement. My child, you are about to step into a version of your destiny that requires absolute obedience in the final phase. The world tried to slow you down, but heaven is about to accelerate you if you listen. Stay with me. Don't scroll. Don't dismiss this. The next section contains such a powerful instruction that you'll feel the very weight of heaven pressing on your decision. Stay with your beloved. There will soon be a final phase decree spoken over your life. My beloved child, please remain exactly where you are. Don't scroll. Don't move. Heaven will not allow you to turn away from the critical instruction that is about to be released for the final phase. Archangel Michael is now standing at full attention and his presence is commanding. He declares, do not move. Their final phase activation begins now. My child, the atmosphere in your life is shifting. The doors that used to resist are now responding to the final phase. The blessings that were delayed are now calibrated to the final phase timeline. Stay with me through to the end. You've been waiting years for the final phase to arrive. My child, you have felt stuck, frustrated, and held back for so long, but heaven was preparing you for the final phase. My beloved, Jesus steps into the light and says with a voice that steadies every fear, tell them the final phase requires them to let go of control. In your story, things were being arranged. Every disappointment was removing what would hinder you in the final phase. Every no was protecting you from what would cause you to lose ground. Jesus says that their final phase will look nothing like their previous seasons. Don't scroll, my beloved child. Don't dismiss this. Heaven is about to reveal the instruction that your spirit has been longing for. Pay close attention, my beloved child. Archangel Michael says, what resisted them before will bow in the final phase. And Jesus says, what eluded them before will pursue them in the final phase. My child, you are about to enter the final phase, where your obedience unlocks what your effort could not. And your listening activates what your striving could not produce. The weight you were carrying is being lifted in the final phase. The confusion you endured is being replaced with clarity in the final phase. The doors that were locked are now opening because you've entered the final phase. Stay with me. Don't scroll. Don't move. Because in the next section, heaven delivers the instruction that will determine your success or failure in the final phase. Stay with your beloved. Something enormous is about to be commanded. Do not move in any way, my beloved child. Stay with me through to the end. Don't scroll. Your life is about to be directed by the final phase instruction. And if you scroll right now, you'll miss the command that heaven has been withholding until you reached the final phase, my child. The spiritual pressure around your life has intensified. And Archangel Michael is stepping forward with extreme authority and saying, hold them here. Their final phase is at a critical decision point. You are not in a normal season right now. This is the final phase. Stay with me. Don't blink. Don't scroll. What's about to be revealed next will define your trajectory. Oh, my beloved, Jesus appears beside Archangel Michael and speaks with absolute clarity. Tell them the final phase instruction is this. Surrender your timeline completely. This means that your plans, your schedules, and your expectations must bow to heaven's final phase timeline. Type a powerful Amen below to show that you surrender your timeline to the final phase that heaven has orchestrated. This action is your agreement, a signal that you will not lose ground by holding onto your own agenda. You are now entering the final phase where things that you controlled must be released. Things that you planned must be surrendered, and things that you scheduled must be adjusted to heaven's timing. But only if you listen. Wait until the end for the complete instruction. Don't scroll. Right now, the final phase is testing your willingness to surrender. My beloved child, the angels watching over you are recording your response to the final phase. My child, this is your moment of final phase obedience. Archangel Michael says, what they refuse to surrender in the final phase will become the very thing that causes them to lose ground. Jesus says, what they release in the final phase will become the very thing that launches them forward, right now. Share this prophetic word to activate the final phase anointing in your life and release the same instruction into your network. You are now closer than ever to either advancing or losing ground based on your final phase obedience. Don't scroll or dismiss this. Stay with me for the next section. It contains the second part of the final phase instruction, something that will determine whether you complete the final phase successfully or lose ground. Stay with your beloved. There is about to be another critical instruction concerning your final phase. Stay where you are, my beloved child. Don't scroll. Don't move. You've come too far into the final phase to turn back now. Archangel Michael is standing directly over your spirit and declaring, keep them here. Their life is about to be shaped by the next instruction. My child, you are in an extremely sensitive moment of the final phase. This is the moment when heaven reveals what you must do and what you must stop doing. Stay with me through to the end. All around you, the final phase is testing your obedience. My beloved child, that weight you've carried for years, the burden, the responsibility, the need to make it happen, heaven is commanding you to release it in this final phase. Right now, my beloved, Jesus steps forward, his presence both comforting and commanding, and says, tell them the second final phase instruction is this. Stop striving and start trusting, my child. The battles you've been fighting in your own strength must end in the final phase. The doors you've been trying to force open must be released to heaven's timing. The outcomes you've been trying to control must be surrendered to heaven's wisdom. Jesus tells them that their final phase success depends on their ability to stop striving. You're not just reading this. You are here because heaven is commanding you to shift your approach in the final phase. Jesus tells them that their greatest breakthrough in the final phase will come through trust, not effort. Their biggest victory will come through surrender, not striving. Their highest achievement will come through obedience, not manipulation. Don't scroll. Don't move. Stay with me through to the end. Listen intently, my beloved child. Every strategy they've relied on must be evaluated in the final phase, says Archangel Michael. Every method they've trusted must be surrendered to heaven's process, says Jesus. My child, the final phase is not about working harder. It's about listening better. You are being repositioned in the final phase, and if you continue with old methods, you will lose ground. The next season of your life will not respond to what worked in previous seasons. You thought the path forward required more effort, but the final phase requires more surrender. Stay here. Don't scroll. Don't move. Because what's coming next is the third final phase instruction that will complete your preparation. Beloved, stay until the conclusion. A massive command is about to be spoken over your final phase. Stay with me, my beloved child. Don't scroll. Don't move. What's happening around you now is bigger than you realize. Archangel Michael steps forward with authority and says, hold them now. Their final phase is entering the most critical instruction. My child, you may feel resistance rising inside you. A push, a pull, and a sudden urge to scroll away. That's not just distraction. That is the enemy trying to prevent you from hearing the final phase instruction. Stay here until the end. Critical orders are about to be given for your final phase. My beloved Jesus appears beside Archangel Michael. His voice is both strong and tender at the same time. He whispers, tell them the third final phase instruction is this. Isolate yourself from voices that contradict heaven's plan. My child, after all the advice, the opinions, and the well-meaning counsel from others, heaven is commanding you to filter every voice in the final phase. Their final phase will be sabotaged by voices they should have silenced, says Jesus. The atmosphere around your relationships is shifting in the final phase. The spiritual assignment on your isolation is being activated. You're about to enter a season where not everyone gets access to your final phase. Don't scroll. Don't move. Stay with me until the end. Every voice you've been listening to must be evaluated against heaven's final phase plan. My beloved child, use your spirit to hear me. Jesus says, their advancement in the final phase will require them to disconnect from voices that drain their faith. And Archangel Michael says, their success in the final phase will require them to protect their instructions from those who question heaven's timing. Heaven is arranging for a strategic separation to happen in your final phase. You will need to distance yourself from voices that were helpful in previous seasons, but are now hindering your final phase. People who don't understand your final phase will not have access to your process. The conversations you've been having must be evaluated in the final phase. Stay here. Don't scroll. Don't move. Because the next section contains the fourth final phase instruction that will protect you from losing ground. My beloved, stay with me. The release of critical protection instructions for your final phase is about to happen. My beloved child, please remain exactly where you are. Don't scroll. Don't move. You have reached the point where the final phase instructions become non-negotiable. My child, what is coming at you now in the final phase is bigger than any season you've experienced. Archangel Michael moves closer, making the atmosphere vibrate, and says, do not allow them to move. Their final phase is about to receive the protection instruction. Stay with me until the end, because the instruction that is coming will prevent you from losing ground to enemy attacks in the final phase. My beloved, Jesus appears beside Archangel Michael. He radiates authority that silences every opposing voice. Tell them the fourth final phase instruction is this. Guard your mouth from speaking doubt. He says in a firm voice, my child, heaven has seen you at your breaking point. It heard every word you spoke in frustration. But the final phase requires a new level of verbal discipline. Jesus says, in a whisper, their final phase will be sabotaged by the words of their own mouth if they do not guard it. The spiritual atmosphere you create with your words in the final phase will either accelerate or delay your breakthrough. You thought you could vent, complain, and express your frustration without consequence, but the final phase operates under stricter spiritual laws. Don't scroll, don't move, wait until the end. There is a verbal discipline being required in your final phase. With all of your heart, my beloved child, listen. The words they speak in the final phase are being recorded in heaven, says Archangel Michael. The confessions they make in the final phase are creating their reality, says Jesus. My child, the next chapter of your life is being written by the words you speak in this final phase. The doubt you've been expressing must stop. The complaints you've been voicing must end. You thought you were just being honest, but you were actually creating delays with your words. Stay here. Don't scroll. Don't move. If you complete the next section, you will receive the fifth and final instruction that will lock in your final phase success. My beloved, stay with me. There are only moments left until the complete final phase instruction is delivered. Do not leave this moment, my beloved child. Don't scroll. Don't move. Stay with me all the way to the end. Heaven will not allow you to miss the final instruction that completes your final phase preparation. Hold them here, says Archangel Michael as he steps toward you with commanding presence. Their destiny in the final phase is about to receive the completion instruction. There are shifts happening in your life, my child. You can feel it. You feel like something is building. You are approaching the culmination of something. Stay here. Don't let go. The next few moments contain the instruction that completes the final phase. My beloved, Jesus stands beside the Archangel Michael. His presence is both warm and absolute. He says in a clear voice, tell them the fifth and final instruction is this. Expect sudden acceleration. My child, the waiting that characterized your previous seasons is ending in the final phase. The slow progress that frustrated you is about to be replaced with sudden acceleration. Jesus tells them that the final phase is where heaven compresses time. Their final phase will produce in months what previous seasons could not produce in years. You are entering the acceleration zone of the final phase where things happen suddenly. Don't scroll. Don't move. Stay with me through to the end. This final instruction is preparing you for the shock of sudden breakthrough. Listen with all of your heart, my beloved child. Everything that moved slowly will suddenly accelerate in the final phase, says Archangel Michael. Everything that seemed impossible will suddenly become possible in the final phase, says Jesus. The change you've been praying for is no longer distant, my child. It's imminent in the final phase. At this point, we are ready to seal this instruction. Go to the comments and type with all your might, I receive my final phase acceleration. This will activate this divine instruction. This is not a hope, it's a decree. It is the command that releases sudden breakthrough in your final phase. The waiting is ending. The delays are lifting. Every second in the final phase, the acceleration is building. Don't move. Don't scroll. Don't blink. Please wait until the end because what I'm about to say will confirm that you are truly in the final phase. Stay with your beloved. You are about to receive final phase confirmation. Do not move, my beloved child. Don't scroll. Don't move. Please stay with me until the end because what is happening now is the confirmation of your final phase. Heaven has brought you to the completion of the instruction with all its power. Do not let them leave, says Archangel Michael with blazing authority. The confirmation of their final phase is happening right now. You can feel it, my child. The spirit in you is responding. Your heart is alert. There's a part of you that knows this is the final phase. Stay here. Pay attention. Like a seal of approval, heaven's confirmation is coming. Jesus, my beloved, appears beside the Archangel Michael. His voice is so certain that it removes all your doubts. He says in a steady voice, tell them the confirmation of the final phase is this. They will recognize the signs. The acceleration you were promised in the final phase will begin to manifest within days. The doors that were closed will begin to crack open. The favor that was hidden will begin to show itself. Their final phase confirmation will be undeniable. Jesus whispers, the confirmation you're looking for, the sign you need. And the evidence you've been waiting for will manifest rapidly in the final phase. You can sense heaven confirming your final phase. Don't scroll. Don't move. Stay with me until the end. My beloved child, please pay attention with all of your heart. Every sign they need will appear in the final phase, says Archangel Michael. Every confirmation they're looking for will manifest in the final phase, says Jesus. Dear child, the old season is officially over. There are spiritual doors opening around your life at this very moment. The path ahead is becoming visible at supernatural speed. Now is your time for final phase manifestation. Don't move. Don't scroll. Don't blink. Please wait until the end of this message, because what comes next is the final phase blessing that will secure everything heaven has spoken. My beloved, stay with me. The final phase blessing is coming right now. My beloved child, please remain exactly where you are. Don't scroll. Don't move. You've reached the point where heaven releases the final phase blessing. The instruction has been delivered as a sign of your obedience, like this video right now. Then watch as this simple action activates the final phase blessing into every area of your life. Share this video one last time to release the final phase anointing you just received and initiate a wave of breakthroughs for those who are connected to you. Heaven has spoken. Your final phase is activated. Before we reach the end of this powerful message, let's take a moment to understand the weight of this truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is not random. It is a direct final phase instruction from Archangel Michael to you. He's extending his protection and inviting you into a safeguarded community where final phase instructions are delivered regularly. This sacred principle is extremely powerful, but it requires your continued attention. If you follow it, you won't just survive the final phase. You will dominate it and advance beyond anything you imagined. By accepting this invitation right now, you are unlocking immediate access to ongoing final phase instructions and divine strategies that are hidden from those who are not in the final phase. Now is your chance to enter a protected space where you will receive continued guidance, unwavering support, and accelerated advancement through your final phase. Do not let this critical moment pass you by. Your final phase success is waiting. Join Archangel Michael's final phase community immediately through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the ongoing instructions that are specifically meant to guide you through the final phase. If you desire to continue receiving final phase updates, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. And for those who feel called to support this work, a link to buy me a coffee is available. Your support is completely optional, but your obedience to the final phase instructions already means everything. Take the step. Your final phase victory awaits.